Yo, what's up? What's up? Get it, baby. And as you can see from the title, you want to be the best artist you could possibly be in 2025. And I'm going to tell you how. Or I'm at least give you some advice and some tips from what I've learned from being a record label owner and from being a manager of about 5+ artists for about 3 years. I'm going to keep this short and simple. I'm not going to waste y'all time. I'm not going to try to yap too much. One thing I noticed the most is you can't be one of the best artists or you can't be a good creator or creative if you're not doing the things in your life that you know you should be doing. Examples could be taking care of your mental health or your spiritual health or even your physical health. These things are the top priorities, and not just being able to be a good musician, but being able to be a productive person and a successful person in any field. And I say this because you can't be creative or create or have that passion if your mental isn't good. You will always forever have that passion deep down inside you, but you won't be able to focus on your passion if you're not mentally healthy, I guess. And I want to say even better than mentally healthy, but I would say mentally the best you could be mentally. Because being mentally healthy and being the best you could be mentally is two different things. But yeah, you can't focus on your passion if you're mentally not there. Like you'll just be blocked out by all the other things that you're thinking about that you have to deal with in life because of that. One of the biggest aspects in having your mental together is understanding that every thought and every action you take counts. Whether it's a good thought, a negative thought, a good action, or a negative action, it all counts to you. Think of your thoughts as, think of your brain as the bank and your thoughts as the money. If your thoughts are only bad thoughts, you will mentally be broke. You will mentally not be able to be okay. You will mentally just not be there. And if you're mentally not there, you won't be able to create. Like I said, you won't be able to perform. You won't be able to have a passion. You know, if you're thinking of good thoughts and you're taking positive thoughts, it leads to positive actions. And every time you have a positive thought and every time you try to boost yourself up, you're putting money in the bank. You're feeding yourself and you're feeding your brain confidence. You're feeding your brain manifestation and you're feeding your brain everything it needs to be able to be the best it could be to lead you to where you want to go. The difference between those two sides are one of the biggest things in terms of mentality and mental health. And that does lead a lot into being a great artist. And yeah, your mental just leads the way, honestly. Like you have to have a certain level of confidence in knowing in yourself. If you don't have that level of confidence in knowing yourself, you won't also, like I said, be able to be the best artist you could be, or even a good one, to be honest. Someone who knows their self isn't a person who has to ask others, or isn't a person who could, someone who knows herself is a person who's just able to take action and is a person who's able to create things that they know they like. The next step in being mentally confident, in being mentally healthy, is knowing yourself. If you don't know yourself, you're not going to be able to create things that are originally from you. And if you can't create things that are originally from you, then nobody's going to want to see that. And you're not even going to want to see it yourself. People could tell when you're confident and when you create things based off of what you like and based off of what you're living and based off of your own passion. If you seek attention, then that to a lot of people is a sign that you don't know yourself. The next step into being one of the top artists or the top musicians in 2025 is not being afraid to create art and not being afraid to be yourself. There's people out there who don't even know themselves, so it would be hard for them to even get started because they're too worried about the judgment of other people. Those people are like starting from the dirt. They have to rise up and start to understand themselves and go through a whole process. But for the people who know themselves and know what they like and even like creating and love it and are good at it, but just don't have the confidence, then my only advice to that would be to just do it. Whatever you're thinking, you have to understand that you have to just do things. Like there's not thinking, there's not a lot of thinking. There's not a lot of contemplating. Like you just put it out there and you just create it and you just do it.
To add on to that thought, you have to realize that nothing you do will be exactly perfect or even be exactly how you want it. You have to use what you have to build off of. The best thing you could do is trying to improve something in messing up. If you create something that you think is perfect, you're just going to get stuck in looking at that. So don't get stuck in trying to think you can't put something out because it's not perfect. But put something out that's not perfect and then use that imperfectness to build upon and improve to build that confidence to keep putting things out.
That's the best thing about it, is that it shouldn't be something that you have to overthink. It shouldn't be something that in life where you're not sure about it, you're unsure. Make it one of those things where it's just easy. You just know it. You feel it and you know it and you do it. You don't have to worry about the opinions of other people if you know your own opinion. The next piece of advice and the next thing I understand and realize is don't ever fall in the race of comparing yourself to someone else. One of the main parts to being a creator and being an artist and being a musician is doing what you do and doing your own thing. And like I said, that all falls back into confidence, mental wealth, and self-knowingness, self-reflections. And the next thing I understand and realize is who you're around. And like I said, all of these things I'm telling you is not just to be a better artist and musician, but this is to be a better person. When you're building yourself as a person, you're becoming a better person, you're growing and you're learning. You could apply your methods to anything that you do, no matter what you do. And the main things into growing and being a better person is knowing who's around you and surrounding yourself by people who are on the same mental as you, people who you inspire to be, or people who inspire you, or people who support you. You can't be a top track star if you're around people who are fat, lazy, and sit around all day. You won't be fat. So you'll become fat and lazy just like the people you're around. You can't be a gamer. I don't know. I don't know what else to say because it's pretty obvious. But yeah, you have to surround yourself with the right people. You have to have the right team. Now, a team and finding a right group takes time to build. But when you start to understand yourself and know yourself and build yourself, you will attract those people. When you spiritually think the right things and spiritually do the right things, you will attract all the right people in your life, no matter what the circumstances are, no matter what you do. And that's just how it works. After you get yourself together, you need to make sure you have the right people around you to support you so you can get to where you want to go. Once you have the mental well-being down, the confidence down, and the right team and support, there is no limit. I was about to say the sky is the limit, but there is no limit. You could be the artist that you want to be and the best artist that there is in 2025. And all of this stuff isn't shit I'm making up. This is evident in all the big artists and rappers that you know. Let's take Drake, for example. He has one of the best teams around him, and he built that team, and that's a loyal team that he has from the beginning. Started from the bottom, now we're here. They started from the bottom, and now they're there. That's the you hear stories about stuff like that. That's the teamwork aspect of it. Let's take someone like Gunna, who mentally wasn't there at first, but once he started working out, physically getting right, mentally worrying about his mental health, his music started going up. You could just tell when someone's aura is changing, you know, like wake up, I feel fit, something, whatever the lyrics are, it's literally evident in everything. And I'm seeing it myself for my life and other people's life, for good and bad. I'm seeing artists who are in a slump right now, who are dealing with life, and their music just isn't consistent anymore, just isn't because of what's going on. But I also know and pray for them to get better, and I know that it will get better. And I know once they do, they'll be back on it. So everything that all these things I'm talking about, they have meaning to it. Like they do apply. And one thing is, you could know everything, but if you don't take action, there's no point of knowing. Don't be the person who's just watching this video and scrolls to the next one and scrolls to the next one and scrolls to the next one and falls asleep, wakes up and does the same thing. Watch this video, take a minute to yourself and take action so you could be where you want to be. But yeah, I hope everything I said made sense and helped you guys. And I hope you can use this as a rubric to being not only the best musician and artist in 2025, but being the best person you can be in 2025.